This guy.
What is up, everyone, and welcome into the live war between the Chargers fans and the Raiders fans. Although, not going to be much of a war with only one Raiders fan versus.
Let's get ready to rumble. Step into the war zone. 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 Friday night war zone. Friday night war zone. Hey yo, it's Phil Flames. I'm with Mike on the mic and Joe Morley. About to bring you more heat. Welcome to the war zone. You can have a floor seat. Watch them on your iPhone. Watch them on your Galaxy. It's a sports debate show. Straight up out of SoCal. Gather around the laptop. Friday nights it goes down. And we on the radio. Coming to your locale. Got into the third round. Better bring the smoke now. Step into the war zone. 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 Friday night war zone. Friday night war zone. Step into the 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 war zone. Friday night war zone. Friday night war zone.
We're here.
That is the longest intro of all time. Holy
And
crap.
also the best intro of all time, Fernando.
Well, are you ready to step in now?
There's
after
too
you
much-
heard that.
Yeah,
There's
you
too
stepped
much.
in.
There's too much Morley.
Yeah, I know. We should probably take him out. It should just be Friday Night Wars with Mike on the mic sports. But anyways, this is a very special edition of Friday Night Wars. Welcome everyone who's in the chat. Welcome everyone who's tuned in. I'm joined by Tony Tucker, fellow Chargers fan, host on the shows. Sports Illustrated Chargers beat writer Fernando Ramirez, special guest. Welcome to the network once again. And I don't know who the guy in black is. So
I'm Joe Morley, and I'm the guy who's going to take down Fernando on Monday night. Fernando, I should get a shout out in the article that you write Tuesday morning about when the Chargers lose to the Raiders. And just let you know, started off right there. Joe Morley is the biggest fan, best fan, and the Raiders are the best. And this is why the Chargers lost. That's how you're going to start your article.
That would actually be the article on Monday night if it were to happen. So I don't know about that.
You can actually, I'll give you a picture too, right here.
Yeah. I'd rather have
Like
the
that
picture
picture.
behind you with that second Joe Morley back there.
This guy, that's one. You know what? I'll send this to you. You can have it. You can
I
post
don't
it in
need
your.
Why would I want nightmares? The dog would probably bark at it, try and bite at it. I don't think the dog would enjoy that.
You can look at it all day. So where are you at right now? You're at the facility, you said, right?
Yeah. I'm at the facility, just writing some stuff up. Usually Thursdays and Fridays are my long day, but because it's a Monday night game, they practice Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So today and tomorrow are going to be my long days.
So any big news that we should know about before Monday night?
Joe Morley sucks.
that's not breaking. It's kind of just
Well, we don't have
news.
don't
Actually,
have
I've seen it a few times on like planes that have flown by. They have like a little trail that says Joe Morley sucks behind them. It's kind of weird.
Hey, the Hells Angels were practicing today, and I think they wrote Joe Morley sucks on in the sky. So that was pretty cool. You got a shout out on there.
Hey Joe,
Nothing really earth shattering. I mean, the guys are just preparing. They're getting ready. Both teams look like they're pretty healthy heading into this matchup. I saw Josh Jacobs limited, but he still practiced. Keenan's been limited. Justin Jones has been limited. Chris Harris Jr. limited. Chris Harris Jr. and Justin Jones being back on the field is positive for these guys, especially because you see how the Raiders are running the football right now. You're going to need Justin Jones in there to stop, to be able to stop the run. He's very good at that. So is Limbo Joseph. So the Chargers know that they need to do better against the run. They also have to get to Derek Carr. They know that they have to get consistent pressure on him. I think the one thing that I've noticed I listen to the Raiders press conferences too. Obviously, the Raiders are going to put a strong emphasis on trying to get up to a quick start. I'm sure the Chargers are going to do the exact same thing. I know that the Raiders haven't been able to get a quick start. They usually kind of kickstart their offense in the second quarter. Am I wrong?
Yeah, the Raiders like the spot teams 15 or 14 points.
Good against us, and here we go. Some more of the crew in here. Hey, did you guys know, for the Raiders fans, that the game's on Monday night? Are you guys all like rushing to SoFi? Because it seems like all the Chargers fans showed up on time. I don't see no. consideration.
What are you talking about? I got a Raider fan now. I got a Raider fan here. Fernando,
What?
first Raider game in SoFi Stadium with fans, right?
Yeah.
You ready for that? Are the Chargers ready for that? Let me ask you that first.
It seems like they're really like brushing it off. It's like they're more focused on the game, what's going to happen. They know that they need to get off to a quick start. You're coming off a game where you're probably in one of the loudest stadiums in the world when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. So I mean, they were used to the noise. They're going to be used to all that stuff. For them, it's just they know that they need to go out there and play their best game is what they're translating to us. Keenan today thinks that it's going to be about 50-50. I don't think it's going to be 50-50 because the Cowboys game I thought was 60-40. That's where I'm predicting it's going to be 60-40, 65-35. But I expect these guys, regardless, to try and play their best game and go out there and try and come home, try and stay with another W, especially because of how tight the division seems like it's going to be. I mean, it's pretty tight. Even with the Chiefs at 1-2, it seems like they can bounce back at any point. But that's what the guys are telling us. It's not affecting them. The fact that there could be more fans from the other team. It happened with the Cowboys. They didn't care. It shouldn't matter to them this game, so that's going to be the interesting part. It seems like the Raiders are more focused on how loud and how many fans are going to have there. So that's going to be very interesting. But it's funny because I think Gruden was asked about Raiders fans sneaking into SoFi, and he's like, "Hey, Dolphins fans snuck into our stadium, so who knows?" So that was a pretty interesting tidbit from old Chucky.
Nobody cares about Raider Nation. Somebody cares about Raider Nation. I'll tell you that. I care about Raider Nation. And I'll bring on the other guests right now for you guys so you guys know. We have Jake the Snake in the house, another Charger fan. And we have King LV Raider. If you guys know him, find him on TikTok. Big TikTok guy, big Raider guy. So, yeah, I brought some backup too today, Fernando, just for you and Mike and Tony.
Who said
make it
worry
seem
about
like
the
I
fans?
care.
There is no way the Raiders are worried about no damn fans. All right,
They talk about it a lot.
No, we
Hey,
do not
'cause
talk
we-
about. Look at
we talk.
Okay, the Chargers defense suck. Okay, they're bad.
Hey,
What?
let me just
The
say
Raiders
one.
defense is way better than the
No, it's
Chargers
not.
defense.
Hey, let me just say one thing. Hey, wait, let me say, wait. Let's just clarify one thing. I love the fact that you're repping that Leatherhead on your head right now because Alex Leatherhead's gonna get balled over by Jared Tillery and Joey Bosa.
Yo, King Raider or whatever, you look exactly like Fernando Tatis Jr. Holy crap. You look a lot like him.
He just hit that bomb out of Dodger Stadium then.
Oh
He
man.
did.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Too bad that the Padres will always be the third place team in the NL West. Let's just be honest.
That's for another topic, huh, Fernando? That's for another topic. Because last time we talked with Fernando, he came on here trying to troll me with some Padres stuff. Now it's a big Raider Charger week, and he's going with the Chargers again. And I guess he likes picking losing teams.
No, well, I mean, I'm going based off of straight up quarterback for quarterback. I mean, come on now, it's
Justin Herbert's second season. I mean, you don't know how he's gonna do with the Raiders defense. The Raiders defense is completely different from last season.
He's probably going to
but Justin's seen that defense in practice. He's battled that defense in training camp. He understands what that defense is all about. The other thing is that, and Gus Bradley kind of shouted it out, the Chargers offensive line is a lot better this year than it was last year. But if Max Crosby can get pressure, Yannick Ngakoue, if they can get pressure, it might be it could be a different story. But I mean, Rashawn Slater's played well so far. The weak spot is Storm Norton. So if Max Crosby can get pressure on him, it's going to be a long day. But I mean, the Chargers know what they have to do. They have to be able to run the football consistently. They have to be able to get their guys open. The biggest question mark is going to be Casey Hayward against whoever he goes against. If it's Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, that's going to be the interesting matchup for me to watch for. Just because Casey knows them and Gus Bradley knows this offense, but Keenan knows what Casey can do. Mike knows what Casey can do. So it's going to be a two-way street there. But I'm interested to see what that matchup is going to be like. And then obviously Denzel Perriman hits hard. So the Chargers know that. The Chargers know that that Denzel is going to try and come in through the hole if they try and run the football, and he's going to come in and just he likes to take off heads, so that's going to be another interesting aspect of this game. But
Don't forget Farrell too.
I don't know why you're
He's a
flexing,
sleeper.
Joe. That guy was a second stringer for us last year. The same guy you're flexing about.
Right.
I don't know. Also why we're pretending like the Raiders defense is better than the Chargers. The Chargers have given up 101 less pass yards. They forced double the amount of turnovers. They've given up 4 points less per game. And guess what? You can say that our run defense sucks. We're in the bottom 10. So are the Raiders.
Yo, I want to ask you a question though.
But all that yards came against who? Who did come in? Lamar Jackson. That's probably all the
That's
yards
right.
that came right there. That's just Lamar. And Lamar is just a running quarterback.
Joe.
It's hard to stop Lamar.
How many
Yeah.
yards
Let
did
me
Lamar
ask you a
have?
question, though.
500?
What do you got,
Joe,
Fernando?
Okay. Does it worry you a little bit? And I'm just asking you from a fan's
Lamar
point
is
of view.
one hell of a running quarterback.
Does it worry you a little bit that you guys have only gone up against Jacoby Brissett, Big Ben, and kind of Lamar, and not really seen a quarterback like this kid who has a bigger arm?
We
and stuff like
injured
that?
Ben Ben. Like, if you're going to talk
Am
about
I worried about Justin Herbert? Am I
Injured.
worried about Justin Herbert? No, because Justin Herbert is still in his sophomore slump. He just had his we were talking about this earlier. He just had his first real good game last week, right? Don't tell me that he didn't. You know, I know a lot of Charger fans, a lot of people were worried about how Justin Herbert started the first 2
Chiefs
games.
defense. The worst
Then
in
he
the
came out
NFL.
and played it had a great game against the Chiefs. So I'm not worried about it.
Can I tell you why? Can I tell you why?
Hey, let me throw this out there real quick because I threw this at Tony and Mike and they didn't catch it earlier.
Defense, like, look at them. They're like powder puff right now. They can't fucking stop nobody.
Everybody was scared.
I mean-
Everybody talks about Gus Bradley's defense, Fernando, and they're talking about it, and they go, "Oh, Herbert has the better edge of Gus Bradley." Gus Bradley's defense kept Herbert second string last year to Tyrod Taylor throughout the whole training camp until that needle hit it.
I think that was an Anthony Lynn thing.
Boy.
Joe, are you-
That was
That
very,
regardless.
that was very much an Anthony Lynn thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Joe,
that's-
I
yeah.
love
Oh,
Joe.
man.
I love that you just like try to do it. Like you just cut a promo, and you hit everything. When a WWE wrestler, you have to hit every single point. You freaking hit every single point, and that would piss. You would have gotten
Let's
the
be-
boo birds if you were in the stadium, like saying that out loud. So credit to you, Joe. That was actually really
Let's
good.
be
I like
true.
that.
Let's
Set
be
that out,
truly
Mike.
honest
Put it on
with
the bolts.
let's be truly honest with ourselves with the fact that when you look at both of these defenses altogether, the Raiders have given up 71 points to the opposing teams altogether in 3 weeks. And while the Chargers have only been able to manage 60 points, the fact of the matter is it's not even just about who's given up much. But the fact is the real question is why are all these Raider games starting to become close? Are you afraid to just literally shut the door on some of these opposing teams, or is that just always a Raider thing? They gotta have the excitement. They gotta have the anxiety. They gotta have the games that close, because that shouldn't have never gone that way against Miami, especially with a backup quarterback in Jacoby Brissett.
Well, it's Crosby. Crosby, and that would have ended the game right there. Crosby didn't do that hit. I mean, we wouldn't be talking about the overtime, but yeah, it happens. It happens. I mean, it happens every game.
But I also do see too a little bits and pieces of John Gruden getting back to his conservative self again by the time we're in the fourth quarter plays.
I'm
I
excited.
was
Yeah,
going to say,
we don't-
Big John Gruden went back. The last game against Miami, John Gruden took a step back a little bit in that last quarter, and he did go conservative, allowed them to come back. But I hope he learned from that. That was the first time. But you got to remember, the last 2 games the Raiders have been without Jacobs, and Kenyon Drake hasn't been what we thought he was going to be. Peyton Barber had 100 yards, but Peyton Barber is garbage. I'm sorry. I'm a Raider fan, and I hate Peyton Barber. I know he had 100 yards, but it was an ugly 100 yards that he had.
Mm-hmm.
Jacobs went to week 1. He was broken week 1, still put up 2 touchdowns, and he's a baller, and I'm glad to have him back Monday night.
So, can I go right again, or do you got any more questions? Like,
Yeah,
I
Fernando,
gotta go right.
Fernando, I'm going to see you Monday night. You want to hook up Monday night? I'm going to see you there. I'm going to see you, and you're going to buy me one of those hamburger hot dog things. And you start at 1
I
a.m.
don't take out my credit card for anything at SoFi Stadium.
Hey, you start at 1 and I'll start at the other end.
The only thing Joe's got to worry about getting over there to SoFi Stadium is as long as that car's got enough transmission fluid in there to get in there, because it's just gonna be it's just gonna be like
Yo, you know what time I'm getting there? they're recommending us like get there about 5 hours before the game.
Yeah,
I'll be there
I get
too.
there early.
So I'm probably
We
gonna
will
get
be
there
there 5
early,
hours
and
before the game.
I'm gonna go
Just
chill.
tailgate.
Mike, you got anything?
No,
Guys, this
we're about to move
Jake
on to the
and
topic.
King LV. This is Fernando. Fernando's the beat writer for the Chargers. So, do you guys have any last questions for him?
I just want to know if there was any updates on Chris Harris Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chris
Oh, yeah.
Harris has been he has been practicing. It's been limited. You can tell he is kind of favoring that shoulder a little bit. It's gonna be interesting to see if he does go. The way Staley talked about it yesterday was Justin Jones is probably more likely than Chris Harris to go. So, but it seems like they're happy with Tavon Campbell. They feel like Tavon Campbell could take care. That's what happened in the Cowboys game. In the Cowboys game, you didn't let Derwin be Derwin, and that's kind of where the defense kind of went wrong in a sense because they had Derwin in the slot covering that slot receiver the whole game. And against the Chiefs, they put Tavon Campbell in the slot, and they let Derwin go back to free safety or safety, whatever you want to call him. So that was kind of the biggest difference between the game against the Cowboys and the Chiefs was they let Derwin go back to his natural position, be all over the field, try and rush the passer, try and drop back, follow Travis Kelce wherever he's going, little things like that. But, yeah, Chris Harris Jr., tomorrow's going to be the strongest indication if he's going to go, but I do believe that I'd be surprised if he did go just because shoulders are tricky, and the way Pannon's been talking about the shoulder, I don't think that it'd be interesting if he did go, but it doesn't sound very positive from his point of view.
You know who's 100%? Darren Waller's ready to go.
We just had
Hey, you know what's funny? I started doing research on him and everything, and obviously I know about some of his past. I didn't know he was a receiver coming out of college. I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
So that's why his hand, like, if you notice, his hands are a lot better than most. I mean, I don't want to say that they're better than most tight ends, but he has a natural way of being able to work his body and move his body in certain ways to be able to catch the ball, and that's because of him being a former receiver. So I'm very impressed with the way Darren kind of goes up and makes grabs and stuff. So he's impressive. I mean, dude's something else. So yeah, he's gonna give these guys trouble for sure on Monday night.
Real quick, score prediction.
I think I had 33-28 Chargers.
But
I mean,
I'll take it.
It's gonna come down to the end. It's gonna come down to the end. That's the way for some reason these two teams have been doing that all season. It's gonna come down to the end. Obviously, I mean, I predict them, but I don't know if I think I've only been right once this season, and it was the opening game. So that Kansas City one, you can't blame me for that one. So I'll take that one as a hey, like nobody could beat Kansas City. So. Well, except for Mike. Mike thinks that they can beat it. You know who you remind me of, Mike? Like Caliendo. Win. And then he gets to the Chiefs one, and then he's like, Chiefs loss for them, man. Win.
Oh,
yeah, so
man.
that's
I
awesome.
did. Hey. What did I call Tony? I said 31-24 against the Chiefs.
It was really close. Like you were like 1 point either way.
Bam.
That's on you. Joe, the check better be in the account. You told me to jump on. I jumped on here with you.
I didn't know you wanted it straight to your account. I sent it in the mail.
It'll be
the way my checking account's set up.
Hey, for real though, hit me up on Monday, and I'll come down and I'll say what's up.
All right, sounds
All
good.
right, cool. We'll see you on Monday.
But it has to be
Appreciate
like 4:30, 4:40, but it can't be like at 5:10. You guys want to come down because I can't at that time, but a little bit earlier I can do that.
Hey, when I go to games, I show up early, so I'll be there, and I'll hit you up, and we'll have a great time. But I appreciate you hopping on and giving us all the information. Hey, I might even go get your face printed on my shirt right now, just so I can.
Oh, that'd be sick. There you go. Joe, quick question: Who's gonna win the NL West?
It's gonna be the Giants. I'm going to the Dodger game tomorrow, so hopefully they win tonight and tomorrow.
You can thank Tatis right here in the middle because I don't think the Padres are going to show up this weekend against the Giants.
Hey, let me ask you one last thing, Fernando. This is what I forgot about. Is it a must-win for either one of these teams? Yeah, I know it's
think
week
it's a must
4,
win
but
for both of them. It is no. It is a must win for both of them just because of the Broncos' schedule. I think is the one that I think the Broncos have the hardest schedule to finish out the year for the division, and I think the Broncos at one point will kind of come back to reality in a sense. The Chiefs are going to come back to reality. The Chiefs at one point are going to turn it on. They're going to start climbing in wins. I feel like for that second spot in the division, or maybe the division in of itself, I feel like this is a must win, especially because right now, in a sense, the Chargers are 1-0 in the division. If the Chargers win, they're 2-0 in the division, and they kind of have a leg up on everybody because nobody else kind of played divisional games, if that makes any sense. So for the Chargers, obviously, it's a little more important in that sense because they've been terrible in the division for the last few years. But for the Raiders, it's also critical because you start off the division 1-0. You've beaten the Chargers. You're 1-1, or they're 1-1 now in the division. So for sure, I think this game has a lot more significance than I think people really gather for the future of this for the rest of the season in this division.
Yeah, it also puts the Raiders. It would also put the Raiders at 4-0 in the AFC, which would be good when it comes down to playoff seedings and stuff like that.
100%. So they'd be because they Baltimore, Miami, Pittsburgh, and they'd be 4-0, and then 1-0 in the division. So, and then you also keep up with the Broncos because I kind of feel like the Broncos might sneak up on Baltimore and beat them this weekend.
We'll believe it. We'll believe it when we see it because the fact of like you just played the Jags, the Jets, and the Giants. So I'm like, okay, that's great and all, but if you actually face against a team that made the playoffs last year with Lamar Jackson, let's just see who's really got the tougher edge. And by the way, I mean they're without Bradley Chubb. They still got a really good tough secondary, and it is going to be interesting.
Von Miller's on a new one though. He's 4 sacks in 3 games. That's pretty impressive. But no, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, no, 100%. And they're gonna have to stop Lamar. Lamar's explosive, running the ball, throwing the ball. So, Joe, before I go, can you say one positive thing about your opponent this Monday?
Mike Williams is good. I like Mike Williams. Mike, thanks for making that trade happen in our fantasy league that I got Mike Williams.
I got Keenan, so it's a good deal.
So,
all right, guys.
Fernando, I'll hit you up on Monday. Appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, for sure. Hit me up.
All right, everybody check out Fernando Campos on the beat on Instagram, and of course his articles almost every day on Sports Illustrated.
Everything's in the description. I put it in there. So we got the Snake Sports Talk, King LV Raiders TikTok page is tagged down there. If you want to put something else, just let us know, man. And then we have Campos on the beat. There's links down there in the bio if you guys want to go check it out, or description, I guess, on YouTube. Let's move on. We actually have 4 topics for this show to discuss. So let's go to topic number 1. Just listen. It's going to tell you guys what it is, and then we'll discuss it.
Better breakout so far in 2021, Mike Williams or Henry Ruggs?
It's not even really a question.
Yeah, it's not a question because Mike Williams is in, 6th year? Take him just how long to break out? We're talking about a 2nd-year guy and Henry Ruggs breaking out? Come on. That's not even a real topic.
Okay, I'll start this one off because we're talking about a breakout. Mike Williams is playing like the best receiver in the league right now. Like he's catching everything, game-winning touchdowns, like balling out of control. And if I'm being honest, the Chargers should also be 3-0, and this should just be like a mega match on Monday. Compared to Henry Ruggs, who's playing nice football, but he's basically proving like I'm not a bust. Like that's how well he's playing right now. Like he's not scorching. He's not lighting the world on fire. He caught a broken touchdown basically against the Steelers. So like clearly in this topic right now, it's Mike Williams, and then it's like a huge gap, and then Henry Ruggs. This is the only race Henry Ruggs would lose is this one right here, and he's way distant second to Mike Williams in this conversation.
I mean, he said it. He's been doing work for your fantasy team, right, Joe Morley? Mike Williams. Henry Ruggs is having a good start to the year, but I don't think that's because of Henry Ruggs. I think that's because Derek Carr's balling out more than Henry Ruggs is balling out. Maybe those 12 pounds he gains is the reason he's balling out. I told you guys that the 12 pounds that Henry Ruggs gained was going to be more valuable than Willie Snead and John Brown combined, and so far, truth.
Who's John Brown? Never heard of him.
Yeah, exactly.
Never
You
heard
heard
of
him
him.
earlier in the offseason. He was a savior.
It's funny because the fact that the Raiders are always infamous for having a Brown on their team, whether it be John Brown or baby Trent Brown or Tim Brown, whichever you may prefer. They just love the Browns, man, however you like it. But no, I honestly loved what I'm seeing out of Mike Williams this year. And think about it. He's already got 4 touchdown catches in just the span of 3 weeks. Last year, he only had 2 touchdown catches in a whole year. And that's just obviously due to injuries and so much more. And also, too, not a whole lot of targets. You know, and that's the one thing that has been tough for him. And I could say the same for Henry Ruggs with the fact that, you know, they weren't sure how they were going to play the play scheme with him in the middle of it because he's a fast guy. He's a guy that you utilize in those explosive plays.
You're good. We can hear you.
And so now that that we're starting to see that where the Raiders are changing a little bit of their offensive schematics to where they're matching it to Henry Ruggs' potential. Now it's actually looking a lot better. But honestly, Mike Williams balling out here. And do you guys notice that in the first few years, Mike Williams only played like that with the dreads on? This year, without the dreads, he's balling. I'm just saying that's a superstitious thing. Like I'm just like, when they do something like that, you're looking fresh, you know, and that's where I think this is a fresh new thing. And the fact the Chargers drafting Joshua Palmer in the 3rd round was a little bit of a push of it's production or no contract, because that's what it looks from his end. So I'm excited and happy to see that he's been balling out in the span of 3 weeks.
Go ahead, Tony.
Haircut, Mike. That's all I got to say. Haircut. I told you the preseason. I told you the haircut was going to be the difference, and the dude's balling out.
Before the preseason, when we first saw the haircut.
That's what I said. I said this is going to be the opposite of Samson. He cut the dreads, and now he's more powerful. That's it. A good, clean.
Let me ask you this. What do you guys think? There's a big difference in stats right here? Do you guys think there's a big difference in stats?
Yeah.
Between Mike Williams and Henry Ruggs?
Yeah. Yes, there is.
Mike Williams has 22 catches right now, 295 yards, 4 touchdowns. Huh?
How many Ruggs got?
Ruggs has 11 receptions on the year, 237 yards, 1 touchdown.
So half the amount of catches and less than half the amount of touchdowns.
But almost up there on yards.
Close.
I think he answered his own question right
Is
there.
that Ruggs' fault that he doesn't get targeted? Because the Raiders are the first team in NFL history to have 4 teams after four wide receivers after week 3 with 200 yards receiving.
No. He's the wide receiver 1 on a team where the quarterback's leading the league in yards right now. I don't want to hear any excuses for his statistics.
Joe, those stats are also skewed in your favor. Real quick, also skewed in your favor because you guys have played 2 5-quarter games.
That's true also. Let's talk about that a little bit. All right, let's go. You ready to go on the next topic? You got one last thing, Joe? I know you're about to say something. No? Okay, we're going on to the next.
Let's see how I paused there for dramatic effect. I got you right there.
All right, here we go. Next topic of the Chargers versus one Raiders fan.
Who are the key players each team is game planning around?
All right.
Are we going to talk about the quarterbacks? Because are we taking the quarterbacks off of this?
Well, we can talk about the quarterbacks, but we'll all just pick someone different.
Yeah. So I'm going to sound like a hypocrite in mine because it's Henry Ruggs, right? Like, now, what I just said still stands true. But he is the player that I'm the most, like, I'm not scared of him, but Henry Ruggs is the guy that where I'm looking like they can't get beat deep. You can't allow him to hit a home run in that game. Like, I just want I want the same attention that was paid to Tyreek Hill to be given to Henry Ruggs. I'm not saying they're the same player, but they both have that extra little burst that I just don't want to give up a home run in that game to Henry Ruggs and have the stadium just be the roof blown off by Raider fans because Henry Ruggs catches like a 70-yard bomb or whatever it is.
Yeah, and I'll go next. King LV, I know you got back in here after some technical difficulties. We're just talking about someone that the opponent is game planning for. So someone the Raiders are game planning for on the Chargers. I'm going to go with Josh Jacobs, other than the obvious Derek Carr. just because not necessarily the Chargers need to worry about stopping him up and down the field. Because I feel like the Chargers have kind of accepted that we're going to go ahead and let them run down the field, but we're going to tighten things up when they get to our side of the field and bend, don't break style thing. But I'm even worried in the red zone. We know what Josh Jacobs can do. And if we give him as much space as we've been giving guys like CEH and Antonio Gibson and Tony Pollard, Josh Jacobs is going to make us pay more than those guys did, and those guys made us pay. So I'm worried about Josh Jacobs. Also, it could be a game coming back off of injury. Don't know how healthy or unhealthy he is. But usually when you take 2 weeks off, you get a little healthier, a little bit of fresh legs under you. So I'm a little worried about Josh Jacobs. And the Raiders kind of flipping a 180 on us and not throwing the ball as much.
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of interesting because, I mean, one mentioned about Henry Ruggs. I honestly am more and more concerned that I feel like the game planning is going to be around Hunter Renfrow. Because the fact that, like, when looking at what the Raiders have been doing as far as with red zones are involved or even in just situational plays, even on third downs, Hunter Renfrow can get open at any time, and that's the kind of thing that the Chargers secondary have to prepare for. You could say what you want to about who's going to be guarding up Henry Ruggs, and even at the same time, even another sleeper receiver, Bryan Edwards. But Hunter Renfrow is a guy that, I've loved his play style. I think he's been a guy that it really can get open when you need him to. And especially when it's a first down or when you need a touchdown. So that's kind of a thing. I'm hoping that the Chargers do have a game plan for that, because hoping it could be Michael Davis or at some point Tavon Campbell coming up in the clutch to making sure that he doesn't get open no matter what.
What do you got, LV? Oh, he disappeared. I don't know. I go back and forth, and I'm trying to think of who the Raiders need to focus more on, and I think it's going to be Mike Williams, just because of the seasons he's having so far, and the Raiders have, the Raiders already know what Keenan Allen is and has been for the last couple of years. Mike Williams has either been on and off the field and hasn't really been 100% every time the Raiders play him. And he hasn't been at this caliber in this kind of offense. So I would like to see them contain him and go after him a little bit, because right now he's been the offense. Like, you're looking at Austin Eckler, and he's having a great year, but he's not impressive like you would think of a starting running back. Keenan Allen had a bad game last year. Keenan Allen's nicked up. I don't even know if Keenan Allen's going on Monday. He might, right, Mike?
He's going.
He's playing.
So I think that's one of the matchups, because depending on who's going to cover him, I don't think it's going to be Casey Hayward covering Mike Williams. I think it's going to be Trayvon Mullen. So that's one of my matchups right there that I'm interested that they need to shut down. That's who they need to look at. But I know Fernando tried to cut it down just a little bit, but I think the crowd is going to get to the Chargers more than they're letting it get there, letting them talk about it.
I'm actually really surprised you didn't even mention about Jalen Guyton after what happened last year.
I ain't worried about that. I don't bring up the past.
I mean, I don't think they're too worried about the crowd. They just went into Arrowhead and put it on the Chiefs in one of the loudest environments that you can be in the NFL right now. It just sucks. It's like an unfortunate reality that you got to play road games at home. That does suck, but I think the Chargers team is preparing for it and they're ready for it.
There's a big difference between going on a road and we're going into Arrowhead, we're going into Chiefs territory, then coming home and playing a home game and going, oh crap, our fans didn't even show up to this. It's a big difference. And if you guys know the Raiders, you guys watch the Raiders a lot. You guys know about the Raiders. The Raiders get a different feel from when their fans are pumping them up. They get a different feel when they play prime time. They're a different game. They're a different team on Monday night. So just a little bit more. It looks like Derek Carr feeds off the fans a lot more. So this helps the Raiders just a little bit more, in my opinion.
Yeah, you just remind me I hate you.
Well, here's the funny thing. I mean, when you look at prime times, I mean, the last time that the Chargers were even on a Monday night primetime game, Justin Herbert threw for 4 dimes, and he had a really, really good quarterback rating against a tough Saints defense.
Yeah, that was probably his best game last year.
Hell yeah. And it's unfortunate because I thought that should have been a Charger win right there. But unfortunately, with conservative play calls and the way it went and defensive miscues from Gus Bradley, that's also another thing that caused them to end up coughing out that game.
It's one thing to know about Gus Bradley's defense, but it's another thing to beat it.
it's pretty easy to beat actually. But anyways, let's move
I'm
on.
sure it is. I'm sure it is easy to beat when they're 3-0 right now, right?
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett, Ben Roethlisberger, Lamar Jackson. The reason they got beat and shredded so bad in the second half of games last year is because teams were down and they had to open up their passing playbook.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to open up our passing playbook at the first snap. So here we go. Anyways.
There's a reason you had a first-round draft pick as a defense. Let's go.
Let's move on to the next topic.
Everyone, give a stat line prediction for a player in this week's game.
Yeah, you got one, Joe? Go ahead, Joe.
Josh Jacobs, 120, 3 touchdowns. Raiders win.
Oh, okay. I'll be devastated if that's the case.
In person too.
Yeah, yes. I'm going with Jared Cook, and I like him to have 5-6 catches, 60 yards, score a touchdown, celebrate. Not a revenge game, obviously, because he's played for 19 teams in 10 seasons, but he's going to be there's going to be an opportunity to get him the ball in the middle of the field. And so, Jared Cook having a nice game, first one of the season, has already had a touchdown taken away. Let's go ahead and put one in the win column for Jared Cook.
Jake, off the top of the head.
Oh, man, it's a tough one because there's so many to choose from, but I honestly think I'm going Keenan Allen in this one. 7 catches, right up there to 95 yards, and he scores up. Because, I mean, this is going to be a guy that, like I said, you could put Casey Hayward or you could put somebody up there against Keenan Allen, but he's going to be slaying legs in that secondary. And ultimately, the second you get him wide open, it's always yards after the catch that he's lethal on. And that's where I think he's going to be used a lot more, regardless of, Mike Williams having the season that he's having. So I'm going with Keenan Allen with that stat line.
And the more and more Mike Williams puts up numbers like this, the more and more teams are going to start game planning for him. And that's just going to open Keenan up. You do not want to leave Keenan Allen in one-on-one coverage. Let's already go ahead and do that. I'll give mine. I'm going with Asante Samuel Jr. 4 tackles, 3 pass defenses, an interception, and I'm envisioning myself sitting in the seats. We sat there for Fan Fest, so I have an idea of Asante Samuel taking one back to the house on Derek Carr.
Get it out of here. Get that thought out of here. I'm glad you're dreaming about that.
You'll be able to see it in person.
Yeah, 3rd straight pick in the week's end. That one is the special one right there.
Pick 6 up the left sideline.
King LV, we're talking about one stat line. Give us one stat line of any player that you think is going to ball out this weekend.
Derek Carr, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns.
If Derek Carr scores 3 touchdowns, and I got Josh Jacobs scoring 3 touchdowns, yeah,
we're gonna see a night. We're gonna see a night from the Raiders.
Hey, and this game has that potential. Like we've talked about the 2 defenses, but the offenses are both top 10 offenses right now, and this has a potential to be one of those shootout games.
Yeah.
Well, one of the defenses is a top 10 defense right now too.
And the funny thing of it is they're coming off of a week where they faced off against Travis Kelce. And the best thing that the defense could do is keep all the plays up front, never behind them. Because the second that they end up letting plays behind them, that hurts.
So that was Kelce.
Kelce Hill, I should say Ruggs and Waller are like a broke man's Kelce and Hill. So we kind of just lived through this one.
Tony just brought up Jared Cook as his main player. Like, you want to talk about the Raiders have shut down some tight ends this year too. Come on. Well, except for Mike Gesicki.
I was just going to say Mike Gesicki just ate. Mike Gesicki just
that's all they had.
This is why you guys, it's always a close thing. You were close when you had me on the tight ends until Mike Gesicki.
And you guys were close to being 3-0 until the Cowboys knocked you off.
Oh, no.
What's that rest?
We lost to the Cowboys. Like, you're talking about, you're up here bragging about it, but you have a loss to the Dallas Cowboys. Come on. The NFC East knocked you guys off.
Honestly, it was more of the Charger loss than the Cowboys actually winning. Let's be
Let me guess, the referees did it? The referees did it?
Well, this just makes it that much more embarrassing.
It wasn't even just the referees, but the fact of the matter is that when you have 12 penalties, that's non-disciplined football. I mean, all of us know that. The fact that they got in their own heads, ego started to spread around. That's the reason that they lost. And it was unfortunate. And you have to think about it. They held Dak Prescott to only 1 interception and no pass touchdown. So he could not do anything with that loaded offense, with CeeDee Lamb, with Amari Cooper.
So like 200 yards passing. Yeah, and if you think it's embarrassing that a team loses to the Dallas Cowboys, imagine how embarrassing it is to lose to the team that lost to the Dallas Cowboys. You're going to find out Monday night. It's coming quick.
So you're saying the Chargers are playing undisciplined football this year is what you're saying.
One game of undisciplined football.
One game. They were never going to do that again.
Which you guys have done as well. Jacoby Brissett took you to overtime.
Who won?
And had you on the ropes in overtime.
So what I'm looking at is you guys are complaining. You guys are talking about referees and stuff, right? I'm looking at the stats right now. You guys have 26 penalties called against you this year. The Raiders have 23.
Tell these things. We were there. We watched it.
Huh?
You don't got to tell us this. We already watched this game.
I'm just letting you know.
We know.
Raiders play undisciplinary ball too, but we got that extra win. We got 3 wins in the AFC. 3 wins. The Raiders have done something no other team in NFL history has done. They've gone against 3 teams that won 10 games plus in the previous year and won all 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. And now they're going to go down to LA and say, boom, in the hometown stadium of LA.
I have a question. Me in the back. Joe, what did you think about the Baltimore? Let's get you on the solo shot for this. What did you think about the Baltimore Ravens all offseason? What were you saying about them?
I said they're going to struggle. They're going to take a step back. I said Lamar Jackson's overrated. I've been saying that.
What about the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Actually, I said the Steelers still had a good top offense, but dang, I don't have it. But I said it's Haskins season.
Yeah, well, you're pretty long. All right, now what's your opinion on the Miami Dolphins in the offseason?
Hey, my opinion was Tua sucks. Tua sucks. But then they brought in Jacoby Brissett and it changed it all. Because you didn't see I actually was a big Jacoby Brissett person when he was taking over for Andrew Luck. And I think he was the best person to take over that job. I mean, Jacoby Brissett would have done a better job with the Colts last year than Phillip Rivers did. I'll tell you that. So Jacoby Brissett is a viable, good option. And look what he's did. He lit up that Miami. He rejuvenated that Miami offense in one game last week.
I'll give you credit because you did call the Raiders winning all of these games, but you gave me all these reasons why they're easy wins for the Raiders, but now you're telling me they made history. It's just this historic run the Raiders are on.
Well, I just like to throw that out there because that's what people do. They find like random stats.
When you 3-0, you can throw out any stats you want.
3-0. That's the one that matters. That 3-0 is the one that matters.
I'll tell you one thing, though. Like I said, I'll tell you one thing, because the toughest thing that even with the Raiders have to go against, I mean, you have to look at how good of a season, and actually, let's say how good of a month Asante Samuel Jr. has been having, with the fact of all 3 of the receivers, big name receivers, limited to a donut in touchdowns.
Didn't. Nothing.
Yeah.
LV.
So it's going to be tougher to get past that.
Shut him down with another stat. Asante Samuel is the defensive player of the rookie of the year month, right? But who had the best PFF rookie cornerback of the month?
Nate Hobbs, baby. Nate Hobbs.
Oh,
that's right.
Goodness.
Oh, Lord.
That's right.
Let's go, baby.
Oh.
Let's go, Nate.
I've got something bad for you guys, some bad news. Nate Hobbs has played 57 snaps so far this year. Asante Samuel Jr., 186. Let's move on to the last topic for sure.
Give your final score prediction.
I'm not going first on this one.
I'll go first. I'll go first on this one.
I'll take it.
Oh, go ahead.
Something happened to the audio.
Something happened. Your audio went off.
Try again. Just barely can hear you.
Yeah. All right. I'm not sure what's going on with the audio, but I'm going to go with the Chargers winning this game 34-27. Knockout at the end of the game. Forced fumble on Derek Carr trying to drive, make it close. It's not going to happen. Joey Bosa just coming behind with a strip sack, Fackrell, somebody like that. Game.
Throwing an elbow.
I thought you were going to say Vince Caiano was going to win the game for you guys.
I'm not picking.
Lord.
I wouldn't pick Vizcaino to, nothing. Save nothing for me.
Yeah,
You want to know what though is that both Vizcaino and Carlson have a miss, so it's anybody's game if we want to talk kicking.
Don't you talk about Daniel Carlson like that.
Damn, Daniel.
We can hear you now, King LVR. Go ahead.
Okay.
Give you
There
Go
you
ahead
go.
and give you
Okay. Raiders 35. Chargers 28.
35-28 is what he has.
close to
35-28.
opposite.
Which is real close to what I had. Because for all you Charger fans out there, I know a lot of you guys wanted to come and troll my show on Wednesday because every Wednesday we do the Silver and Black Allegiance. So we had a bunch of you guys in there, and I did my prediction. It was 36-27 Raiders. I'll stick with that.
I said we're
Who's
going
the
to
MVP? Who's the MVP of the game?
You said Josh Jacobs already.
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs? Okay. I think
Yeah,
Derek
you
Carr.
were gone. But Derek Carr, it's going to be impressive. If Derek Carr can throw for another 350, 400 yards, wow. I'll take it.
He's throwing for 350, 400 yards.
Yeah, you guys
What's
have
that one?
between the two of you, you predicted 700 yards of total offense. That would be another.
That's amazing. You're gonna watch it on Monday night. You're like, oh my God, they're right. Look at these Raiders fans. They're geniuses.
Oh, man.
I'm getting myself a leatherhead. If that happens, I'm getting myself a Chargers
Hey,
leatherhead.
I am in love with that hat. That hat is awesome. I don't care what people
It's
say.
been right. It's 3-0 right now. Been making these predictions in them, and it's been correct. I'm like Megamind here with football.
Oh,
You're going to see Mike copy it next week.
All right, so my score prediction, I will give you guys this. The Raiders seem a lot better than I expected. I mean, I have a 5-win projection on them, so I mean they've got to go on a losing streak here pretty soon for that to come true. Yeah, so I will give you guys 21. I think the defense has improved, so maybe they can get us stopped once, twice, maybe in the game, so you guys can get down the field, put up 21 points on us, just like all the other really good offenses have been doing against us, and you guys can call your guys as overachieving, I guess, for now. So I'll give you guys your 21 points. Chargers score 38 and win. Walk home with a blowout W.
Ooh.
yeah. You know what? This is going to be a very interesting game. Love primetime games, but of course, being out here in Vegas, I always love to be a betting man and stuff like this. So I'm taking the Chargers, and the bet line's at -3.5. Love the favorite. The fact that, again, this is a real good Raiders team. We know it's very, very different. They've gotten a bunch of different pieces, but still, there are certain concerns I have with as far as late game calls. And that's the one thing, even paying attention to that Miami game. It should have been one where Miami should have never got back into that game. So that's what leaves the concern of there's a hole to be found there. And the Chargers, even if they come off of a big win against Kansas City, they've got momentum. They got juice. They're pissed. They're ready to play. And they know that they've got their division rival in front of them. So I'm going to take the Chargers, and on a reasonable score with 3.5, I take 28-24 because I do think Derek Carr is going to leave something out, like he's going to pull something out of that rabbit hat, but it's not going to be enough against the Chargers, especially with the way that they performed with clutch defense.
So last season, they played both games were very close. I think it was 31.
It was 30-20.
and 30-27.
Both games came down to the last play.
Funny thing is I actually did call that score before the score even came up, 30-27.
Yeah.
Oh, it was nuts.
Bam. That was the overtime game. And then, of course, we lost on the Donald Parham drop.
And Joe and King got to remember of who's 1-0 in that giant Roomba when they're out there spraying out all that silver and lac dust everywhere.
Silver and lac dust. Also, I heard that Raiders fans are going to SoFi. I've heard it a million times from Juan and Joe on their show that the Raiders fans are going to SoFi. Raiders fans. When Derek Carr's
the Charger fans are going to that stadium? I mean, that's completely Raiders stadium right there. You mean the Charger fans are going to try to sit somewhere? I mean, you guys can probably sit in the parking lot or something.
However you want to put it. I'm just trying to share some advice with the Raiders fans, the Raider Nation, right? Raider Nation. Arr, arr. But anyways, you guys, when you get there and you see Derek Carr out in that field, especially when he's calling plays in the huddle and stuff, just yell his name. He really loves the encouragement. Just yell as loud as you can at Carr when he's trying to call plays and, get lined up and all that kind of stuff.
He gets all happy feet every time when he ends up getting encouraged like that.
Yeah, he gets excited. He might play better if you yell louder when they're on offense.
Let me ask you a serious question, Charger fans. You just had a big win against the Chiefs. Something the Raiders already done that. We've been there, done that. Congratulations on that, by the way. No letdown the week after. Like, you just had that big high, and you're not worried about your team like being at this very high, thinking, "Oh, I could beat everybody." We just saw it with Cincinnati on Thursday night. Cincinnati had a big win against Pittsburgh, laid an egg in the first half against Jacksonville. Luckily, they were playing Jacksonville where they were able to come back and win. Same thing could happen with the Chargers.
Yeah, same thing could happen. We could come back and win.
But I could tell you what, though. I could tell you what, though, and all of us Charger fans, at least the diehard ones that we know that have been paying attention this whole entire season, this ain't like the last few coaches that we had. This is not Anthony Lynn. This is not Mike McCoy. This is not Norv Turner. And hate to say this, not even the late, great Marty Schottenheimer. This is Brandon Staley we're talking about here. This man, when you watch pre-games, post-games, even in practices, he is very thorough of how he envisions this Chargers team moving forward. Knowing, yes, it's a big win against Kansas City, but the job is not over yet. The job is not done. When we know that you've got a division rival in the Raiders that is ready to roll 3-0, and they look to be taking over the whole NFL, because I know the history. The NFL hates the Raiders. And they're the rebels of the NFL. But regardless of it, he knows the smarts. He knows what needs to be executed and what needs to be done. That's what I think makes it so different. As a Charger fan, feeling that for the first time in a long time, I'm not overhyped, but I'm very happy at the change, and this is why I'm like, we're going with the flow of how is Staley going to react after a big game win. I think he's going to be fine with it. I think he's going to keep these guys level-headed, and we're going to have a great game, guys. We're going to have a great game.
Joe, this is momentum. It's just they're just going to push even for this. Isn't like, they didn't win anything. Everybody has so much to prove on the Chargers still. From the coaching staff, to players returning from injuries, to Mike Williams chasing a contract, to like Austin Eckler proving that he can stay healthy. Like, everybody has something to prove. They don't have any of those people that like, we've done this, we've done that. We can rest on our laurels. It's not going to matter. It's just a speed bump. That's all it is. And like, as soon as we hit you, all the stripper glitter flies out, hopefully catches the Santa Ana winds and goes back to Vegas. You guys can take an L with you. We got it. It's in the bag. It's in the bag. Enjoy it, Raiders fans. 3-0.
3-1.
All downhill from here.
3-1 still a good record. We'll be 3-1 also.
Absolutely.
You know who else in a new contract? You keep bringing up Mike Williams chasing a new contract. Derek Carr's chasing that new contract.
Yeah.
In Miami or something.
But this is what's funny is you had a head coach that was convincing the Raider Nation about Nathan Peterman. Carr. I mean, come on now. Are we going to get the conversation about PD? Like, and here's the thing. Let me just speak at least for the Raider Nation just for a second. You have your franchise quarterback. Leave him alone. Because, mind you, you don't want to go another 16 years of finding quarterbacks like Andrew Walter, Bruce Gradkowski, Jamarcus Russell, Matt McGloin, all these quarterbacks here until you find the one quarterback that's your franchise quarterback. Treat the man with respect. I live here in Vegas. We are a diehard sports town, but he deserves this. He deserves this moment.
It's not about John Gruden saying Nathan Peterman is taking over for Derek Carr. We all know John Gruden loves that. He's like the old Al Davis. He still has it in him that he likes to take the players that people say are washed up and never could play again and turn them around and make them great. And then is Nathan Peterman ever going to be a great quarterback in this league? Probably not. I mean, is he great to play all of our preseason snaps? Hell yeah, get in there. Hey, get out there and do what you got to do. But the media the outside media always made it a bigger deal about Derek Carr and John Gruden and the Raiders getting rid of Derek Carr. And John Gruden and Mike Mayock always said the last couple of years that Derek Carr is our guy. Derek Carr's our guy, and nobody believed it, especially like Chris Sims and all those guys. And now all those people are eating crow 3 games into the season, talking about how now they're talking about how Derek Carr's an elite quarterback, a great quarterback, but he's always been this way. And John Gruden just came out this week and said that again. Don't think of too much into the Derek Carr season because he's always been this quarterback.
Love him. He's a great guy.
Joe, when we talked all offseason, I predicted this type of a season for Derek Carr, because if this wasn't the Derek Carr that came out, he was getting shipped to Green Bay for Aaron Rodgers in the offseason, because Aaron Rodgers wants to head west so that the open jobs are Denver or Las Vegas. He's not going to the 49ers anymore. There's no room on either of the LA ones. So he's either going to end up in Denver or he's going to end up with the Raiders. And so Derek Carr wanted the long-term security and to stay here. He needed to stop being sort of conservative. He needed to be able to take shots downfield, be a little more, not reckless, but just like take advantage. And he's doing that. And Henry Ruggs, as long as he's healthy, he's a guy they invested in to do what he's doing this year. He's playing well. Like, Derek Carr needed this.
And
Derek Carr he's always been one of the most accurate deep ball passers in the league. He just never had the play calling or the receivers to do so. He finally has it.
It's really, really early in the season, too. You guys think Derek Carr is going to lead the league in yards this year?
Yep. I do.
I like King LV. He is.
I honestly,
it's funny.
He's
when
up for a contract.
It's funny when I talked to Darian of Spotlight Raiders Talk, like he even told me that if there was any place Derek Carr was going to get traded to, he probably would have been traded to the Colts, because the fact of the healthy offensive line, the offensive weaponry, and they would have said it would have smacked Raider Nation in the face, because he would have gone to the Colts and would have made it to the playoffs very easily.
The Colts made the phone call this offseason. They did.
Oh, they did?
The story came out. They made the call to the Raiders. The Raiders said, no, Derek Carr is not for trade. They did. And I'm with you. If he would have went to the Colts, that's a better fit than Carson Wentz over there. That's
true. That's something about Carson Wentz. He wasn't the first option.
God, he's already.
The show just got better because we got a little bit of TDs.
TDs.
I'll tell you one thing real quick, like, because for me, it's always been a special thing. I've always done this as far as family tradition. I've been a diehard fan since I was 7 with the Chargers. But I will be doing play-by-play reaction up on my personal channel. But I'm gonna be live with my pops, who for years and years and years, it'll make you smile, Joe, but he has been a diehard Raider fan since he was in diapers, okay? But I love going back and forth with him. It was honestly like a rivalry every year, but it's something special to me because the fact of last year suffered a stroke, but he's been getting stronger and better as it goes. And I'm hoping and praying, dude, and maybe I might see you in Vegas in the last game of the season, but I'm hoping I get hookups on tickets to watching Chargers Raiders play in Allegiant Stadium, because I think that would be a great moment for both of us. He gets a chance to see the stadium. I get a chance to see my boys play, and let's clean up all that silver and lac dust flying around.
That sounds like a win-win-win. Around
Lojo's digging your what'd you call yourself yesterday, Tony?
Oh, Patrick Mahomes. That's what this is. Whatever I get. the chubby Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
I thought
a lot of Raider fans in the comments today, guys. So appreciate every Raider fan that's showing up. Sebastian saying we got 2 home games. We own LA. You guys, of course, we own LA. Phil K's in here with this 34. A lot of Chargers. I'm saying there's both, but a lot of Raider fans more. Mike, yeah, go and find your comments, whatever you want to do. Raider Nation has been alive.
I was almost gonna say, Tony, if you braid that thing, you might look like Tyrann Mathieu. Not even gonna lie.
I could, yeah, I could.
It's pretty. Pull it off.
It's pretty moldable.
Hey, King LV and I, we share something in common. We're probably actually right down the street from each other. Bakersfield, hometown of Derek Carr, so that's why we have a little bit more time.
And David Carr.
I got my grandparents living around there.
David Carr also. Make sure you keep
never heard of him.
Yeah.
Never heard of David Carr.
Never heard that guy. Who's that guy? Is that trash man or what? You pick up my trash or what?
Oh hell.
Hey, it's weird because we live in Bakersfield, and Derek Carr was the first overall pick, Houston Texans, and I remember when it happened. But when David Carr was, but Derek Carr is more famous than David Carr ever will be in Bakersfield. I'll tell you that right now. And I think it's because of the Raider Nation.
From Bakersfield all the way up north to Fresno. I mean, hey, I got family that live all up there in Fresno and San Jose, and they love Fresno State. So of course they're diehard when it comes to Derek Carr. But oh yeah, man, it's crazy.
He just can continue this up. Anyways, I think that's wraps. Any last takes for anybody want to throw out there real quick?
Follow
these guys. Jake, you want to plug your stuff real quick?
4-0.
Absolutely.
4-0, baby. 4-0.
You put up 2 4s? 4-4.
That's 8. That's
After
8.
Monday, you're going to be wearing this cap watch.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm not the smartest guy. I told you, I'm not the smartest guy. So this, to me, is like, oh, okay.
Well, for everybody up over here, we appreciate Raider Nation, and of course, we also appreciate Bolt Gang fam up in here. But if you guys love sports, you guys also love fun entertainment and so much more, check out myself here at the Snake Sports Talk Show. I'm on Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. 5 p.m. Pacific Tuesday and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you guys can join in on all the fun. I take away all the hot takes in sports, give my unbiased opinions for all of you, the fans. I'm all over the whole entire social media grid, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. That's where you can like, subscribe, and hit the bell button for all latest notifications to get you up to speed on episodes coming up.
And they be putting great stuff over there at the Snake Sports Talk, man. I'm always tuning into your guys' stuff. The link is in the description, everyone, for him. King LV Raider, we know about the TikTok page. What else you got going on? You want to tell the people to go to, or is it just TikTok?
Just TikTok. I think I might start YouTube.
Oh.
YouTube might do a podcast. I don't know yet. People want me to do it, so we'll see. But yeah, just TikTok. Come on TikTok. Raider Nation 3-0 right now. Gonna be 4-0 next week. But just say, okay, just say.
Oh man!
Thank you for having me on, guys. It was amazing.
Of course. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for posting up the TikTok, by the way. Also, I'll tell everyone, the listeners and everything.
Oh, no problem.
I hit him up asking for a collab, and he just wanted to promote the show. He didn't want anything else out of it, so I appreciate you a ton for that, man.
This is how good the TikTok algorithm is. I found you just by going through TikTok, because I go through TikTok all the time, and I guess maybe the Raiders thing and everything, and then once I saw you posting about Bakersfield, I was like, oh, hell yeah. All right. But yeah, your videos are great. And I get some of the Raider news from you. So I appreciate everything you're doing over there. So guys, if you're especially big Raider fans, go find him on TikTok.
Mm-hmm. Bam. And then we're the Warzone Sports Network. So if you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, hit subscribe button, turn on notifications, all in one swoop of the motion. It's pretty easy. We appreciate you guys for tuning in to this week's episode of Friday Night Wars. A little bit of a special edition episode because the Raiders take on the Chargers on Monday Night Football. So, and we won't be live for that game anymore because we will be in person live for that game now. Me, Joe, and Tony, we scored ourselves some tickets last minute, so we're going to be there. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And I'm going to leave you with a little bit of advice. And that advice is that you never know, even at a Raiders-Chargers debate, if you're talking sports, or you're in a sports debate, when you're going to have to go to war.
Let's get ready to rumble. Step into the war